competition and to show both teams the same respect you'd like them to display. Spectators are reminded that unruly behavior may result in immediate ejection from the premises. The OHSAA and Athletes in Action.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brian Caudill, former Edgewood High School varsity baseball coach, current Edgewood High School staff member, and Cougar superfan, along with my right-hand man. Here with me today doing color, Rich Hazelwood. So as you can see, we're going through the starting lineups for both teams over the PA. We'll give you our version of that in just a minute. Here are the game notes for today. We'll begin first with the Anthony Wayne Generals. They play out of the Northern Lakes League. They are currently coming into this game with a record of 21 wins, 4 losses. They were the Buckeye Division champions of the Northern Lakes League, and their current ranking in the state, Division II by Max Preps, is state ranking number 1. Their head coach, Ryan Donnelly, will be sending out this lineup today. Leading off and playing left field, number 2, Eli Donawa. Batting second in right field, number 7, Tommy Keck. Batting third at shortstop, number 4, Lucas Potkanowicz. Batting fourth at first base, number 12, Cole Biedenharn. Batting fifth at third base, number 3, Max Crandall. Batting sixth in center field, number 1, Ben Nikars. Batting seventh and doing the catching today, number 17, Jet Smith. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 16, Crew Carroll. And batting ninth at second base, number 10, Mason Gurwa. The pitcher for today for the Generals will be number 20, Jackson Urinovich. So again, for the Generals, it'll be Donawa in left field, Keck in right field, Polkanowicz at shortstop. The middle third has Biedenharn at first base, Crandall at third base, and Nikars in center field. The bottom third will be Smith catching, Carroll at the designated hitter, and Gurwa at second base. Now for the Edgewood Cougars, the game notes on Edgewood, they come into this game 22-7, which is the tied for the most wins in program history. They are the SWBL, that's the Southwestern Buckeye League co-champions, with a record in the conference of 6-2. The Cougars come into this one with a 13-game winning streak, and they have come from behind in all 3 of their tournament games thus far, including a magical finish against Troy their last time out, scoring 5 runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning to win and walk off Troy with a score of 5-4. The Edgewood Cougars come into this game with a Max Prep state ranking of number 8 in Ohio. So that's going to, let me first give you the lineup for Edgewood, this is the lineup that Austin Hatfield will send out today. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 2, Hayden Simons. Batting second at third base, number 39, Carson Downey. Batting third at second base, number 15, Zach Boyle. Batting fourth and doing the pitching today, number 11, J.J. Vogel. Batting fifth in right field, number 28, Roman Smith. Batting sixth in center field, number 1, Nick Kelhofer. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 10, Robert Egebrecht. Batting eighth and at first base, number 34, Carter Breedlove. And batting ninth in left field, number 99, John Rivera. Doing the catching for Edgewood today will be number 18, Ty Cowman. So again for Edgewood, Simons at shortstop, Downey at third base, Boyle at second. Vogel will do the pitching, Smith in right field, and Kelhofer in center, while the bottom third will have Egebrecht, designated hitter, Breedlove at first base, and Rivera in left field. So as you can see, the teams have taken the field. It looks like we will be starting a bit early today. Current time 4:50. So we'll be back to carry you all of that. in just a couple of minutes, and we will talk to you then. We are back here at the ballpark. We're having camera issues. You'll have to bear with us. The first pitch of this game, thrown at 4:52, and the pitch was a strike, and now the count evens at 1-1 to the leadoff hitter, Hayden Simons. So Simons swings and misses. Count quickly, 1-2 on Hayden Simons. So we will fix this camera angle for you between innings. The current count on Hayden Simons, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pull-up pitch is taken high, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Simons. Our camera is getting moved by the wind in this one so far, and we hope to fix that for you. We were unable to secure a backstop today because it is a netting behind home plate. So we're on a tripod, and the wind seems to be getting a hold of that, but we will move it towards left field between innings. So count on Simons, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch, taken for strike 3, and that's the first out of this one, as Simons goes down looking. Now batting for Edgewood, the third baseman, number 39, Carson Downey. And he takes a strike. The pitcher on the mound for Anthony Wayne, right-hander Jackson Urinovich. Jackson Ravinovich, as the count evens at 1-1. So Downey, the Edgewood Cougars' third baseman today. He takes a ball, count moves to 2-1. Downey comes in hitting .433 for the Cougars. Here's the pitch. There's a curve flared into short center field. Shortstop moves out. He'll make the play for out number 2 here in the top of the first. He's in hitting .398, 22 runs scored, 22 RBIs for Edgewood.
Brian, this is a beautiful facility.
Very nice place to play baseball here at the, you're right, Rich, here at the Athletes in Action Complex here in Xenia. Very nice.
Just a little bit breezy, wind blowing out in left field.
There's a slider taken on the inside edge for a strike. Count evens at 1-1 on Boyle. The Edgewood Cougars today will have on the mound their ace, J.J. Vogel, 8-0, 1.74 for him. Fastball taken on the outside corner. And the count moves to 1-2 on Boyle. Here comes the 1-2, high fly into right field. Moving over is the right fielder, and Tommy Keck makes the play. 3 up and 3 down for Edgewood in the first. No runs, no hits, no Generals errors, nobody left on base. We're through a half inning of baseball with the score. Edgewood 0, and Anthony Wayne coming to bat. Back here at the Athletes in Action Complex, we're just about set for the home half of the first inning for Anthony Wayne. Anthony Wayne will be sending to the plate their conference player of the year, that being Eli Donawa. He'll lead off, be followed by Tommy Keck and Lucas Potkanowicz. The shortstop will be batting third. J.J. Vogel finishing up his warm-up tosses, throw down to second, and we're just about set for baseball in the home half of the first inning. We do apologize for the camera foul up. The wind is somewhat fierce. Game time temperature was 84 degrees and a south-southwest wind of 12 miles per hour, which is taking the baseball straight out to left field. So Donna was ready, Vogel's ready, and here we go. Pitch is taken for a strike. 0-1. As we mentioned earlier, J.J. Vogel comes into this game with a record of 8-0 and a 1.74 ERA for Edgewood. Just a sophomore. So quickly 0-2 on the leadoff hitter, Donawa. Right-handed batter. 0-2 pitch, here it comes. Fastball, outside corner for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vogel plays his summer baseball with Midland out of Cincinnati. There's a curveball, bounce to second. Boyle up with it, he throws to first, and out number 1. So stepping in for the Generals, left-handed batter Tommy Keck. We apologize, we do not have any stats on, so we will be able to give you Edgewood's. We will not be able to give you the Generals, as strike 1 is delivered by J.J. Vogel. Keck, the right fielder, swinging a hard ground ball foul. Count quickly moves to 0-2. Vogel has the sign he said. Here it comes. There's a line drive into left center field, and it hangs up and is caught. Nice play out in left by John Rivera. He makes a sliding catch for out number 2. So a nice play by Rivera. Count quickly, or outs quickly at 2 as the 3-hole hitter, the shortstop, Lucas Potkanowicz, steps in. There's a fastball right down the middle. Strike one. Of course, the Edgewood Cougars, if you missed it in the pregame, 13-game winning streak coming into this one. Pitch is taken high for a ball. Rich, they're playing their best baseball this time of year, and you certainly what you want.
They have peaked at the exact right time.
There's a swing and a miss. Count 1-2 on Potkanowicz.
We're dealing with a bunch of guys that just don't like to quit. They will stay with it right to the last out. It was evident in the last game.
There's a curveball chop foul. You're exactly right, Rich. The Cougars are sort of the type of team that certainly doesn't lay down, and like we mentioned, they are every game of this state tournament, at some point in the game they've trailed and come back to win all three of them. So the 1-2 pitch, here it comes. Change up, taken low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fastball just misses on the inside corner. Count goes to 3-2. The Generals decked out in their royal blue tops, royal blue pants, and white trim. Pitch is taken low for ball 4, and Potkanowicz reaches on a 2-out walk. And that will bring to the plate Cole Biedenhardt. Edgewood Cougars out on the field. They're in white pants, navy blue tops with white trim. Big lead over at first for Potkanowicz. Here's the pitch right down Broadway for strike one. Vogel checks on the runner. Here comes the pitch. Fastball taken high. Count evens at 1-1. The battery today, Vogel on the mound for Edgewood. And behind the plate, freshman Ty Kalman, a young player with a bright future in the Edgewood program. Here comes the pitch, taken outside. Good block by Kalman.
It's a long way from home plate to the back of the board behind it.
Definitely right, Rich. That's going to put an emphasis on blocking today behind the plate, because anything that gets by the catcher is a base. There's no doubt about that, and depending on what it does, could be 2. Here's the pitch on the inside corner. Count evens at 2-2 on Biedenhardt. Waiting on deck is the third baseman, Max Crandall, hoping to get his chance. Big outfield here in Xenia. Any ball up the gap on the turf is going to roll. Pickoff throw, not in time. Umpires for today's game, Anthony Sheets is the plate umpire. Over at first base is Wayne Horsley, and over at third base is Tyler Jeffers. So a 3-man crew for this one. Curveball fouled straight back. Count remains at 2-2, 2 outs. No movement thus far from Potkanowicz over at first base. We'll see if he's on the move here with the 2-2 count. Vogel ready, here it comes. Fast changeup, it looked like taken outside. Count goes full, so the runner will be on the move over at first. And Vogel will have to come in to Biedenhardt. 3-2 pitch, here it comes, runner on the move, swinging a foul over the first base dugout. Count remains full. If we happen to lose our angle with the camera, we should be able to fix that fairly quickly for you between innings. Hopefully that's not an issue for a while. Right-handed hitting Biedenharn. Waving the bat around in there. Vogel's ready. The 3-2. Curveball taken high, ball 4. So now with 2 runners on base, both via the walk, it's going to be third baseman Max Crandall stepping in. Crandall wearing uniform number 3. Might be Crandell. We'll have to get a pronunciation on that one. There's a changeup taken low, 1 ball. This has sort of been the MO of Vogel. He starts out, trying to find the zone and lock in. And if you don't get him early, he tends to get better as the game goes on. Here comes the 1-0, swinging a hard ground ball to third, and it's moved. Ball goes into left field, coming in. Throw comes to the plate, way too high. Both runners move up, and that'll be an error on the third baseman. Carson Downey allowing a run to score. So an E5, if you're scoring with us at home, allows a run to score. And then on the throw home, both the runners move up. And the runners now at second and third for Ben Niekars. Number 1, right-handed batter. Here comes the pitch. Curveball popped up on the infield. Over is Downey. He's under it in foul territory, and he makes the pitch for out number 3. So for the Generals, Anthony Wayne Generals in the top of the first, they get 1 run. They did not have a hit. There was 1 Edgewood error and 2 runners left on base. We are through 1 inning of baseball with the score. Anthony Wayne 1, Edgewood 0. We'll be back to bring you the top half of the second in just a couple of minutes. Back in Xenia, we're ready for the top half of the second inning. Edgewood will come calling with J.J. Vogel, Roman Smith, and Nick Kellhofer to face Jackson Urinovich. General score in the top half of the bottom half of the first on a 2-out error. Here's a curveball in for a strike to J.J. Vogel. J.J. Vogel comes into this game hitting .379 with 34 RBIs. Another curveball taken outside. Count evens at 1-1. Fastball right on the outside corner. Called a strike, and the count moves to 1-2 on Vogel.
We were just noticing our viewership is way up today. If you would like to comment and let us know where you're watching from and how the picture's coming through to your area, we would appreciate it very much.
pitch is fouled off at the plate by Vogel. Yeah, if any of you are joining the link from my Facebook page, feel free to jump in on the comments there, and we will certainly appreciate anything that you have to say on there. There's a swing and a hard ground ball foul over by the Edgewood first base coach. So the weather definitely warmed up for this one after last week's cool temperatures in and around this area. We are greeted today with a very comfortable 84-degree day with the wind. There's a drive into the right center field gap, but moving over and making the play is Ben Nikars for out number 1. That's going to bring to the plate junior outfielder Roman Smith. He wears uniform number 28. We were unable to bring you that last game against Troy, but Roman Smith, who's up at the plate now, walked that game off. There's a swing and a chopper to second. Up with it is Zerwa, and he throws over to Biedenhorn for out number 2. So that's going to bring to the plate senior Nick Kellhofer. He is back on defense today. He's been out with a hamstring injury, able to give it a go today in center field. He takes a quick strike.
Your friend and mine, Ryan Fairchild, is watching from Cedar Point.
Nice. So a shout out to Ryan Fairchild, my colleague at the high school. He just told us he's watching this game today from Cedar Point. So he's viewing from Cedar Point. There's a swing and a miss from Kellhofer. And the count quickly 1-2. So again, a major shout out to Ryan Fairchild. Thanks for your support of the Cougars. Fastball taken high. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kellhofer. Here comes the pitch. Curveball. Strike 3. Looking, and that'll do it for Edgewood in the top half of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We're through 1.5 with the score remaining. Anthony Wayne 1, Edgewood 0. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We're back and set for the bottom half of the second inning. It'll be 7-8-9 for the Anthony Wayne Generals. They'll be sending up the catcher Jet Smith to be followed by Crew Carroll and Mason Gurwa to face J.J. Vogel. So Jet Smith, left-handed batter, uniform number 17, fouls the pitch back. Count quickly 0-1. We do not have dimensions here in the outfield. There's a pitch for strike 2. Count quickly 0-2. No dimensions on the outfield fences, but I can tell you there is a lot of space in the outfield gaps. There's a swing and a flare into short left. Moving in is the left fielder. John Rivera, and he makes the play for out number 1.
Number 16, Cruz Carroll.
In steps the designated hitter, Crew Carroll. Carroll, uniform number 16, right-handed batter. There's a curve hit high into foul territory down the left field line. It'll crawl out of play for strike number 1. So the Anthony Wayne Generals, again, if you missed it, they come into this game the number 1 ranked team in Ohio from Max Preps. Edgewood coming in at the 8th ranked team in the state. One thing about Max Preps that I really like is that they update those state rankings almost on the daily. So they sort of take into account what's going on, what they're seeing with the scores. And we've got number 1 versus number 8 in this one. Here's a changeup taken low. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good miss there from Vogel.
We might add that the winner of this game will play Loveland Thursday.
That's right, Rich. As we got here, the Loveland team out of Cincinnati, they run ruled Tays Valley. So Loveland in 5 innings defeats Tays Valley, and they'll play the winner of this one. That game is scheduled for Thursday, and that right here, and that game will commence at 2:00 p.m. on Thursday. So the winner of this will face a very talented Loveland ball club on Thursday. So the count 2-2. Here comes the pitch, taken just low. Edgewood not the beneficiary of the tight calls at this point. Anything close has gone against them at this point, but you know you got the best umpires if they're working a regional semifinal, and we don't exactly have the best angle over here just off of the third base side of home plate. So the 3-2 fouled off all the way back to the backstop. Got to see the Anthony Wayne General softball team play Kings last week. His good friend of mine. There's a base hit to center. So Crew Carroll singles to center. And that's going to bring to the plate Mason Gurwa. So Mason Gurwa steps in, the 9-hole hitter. But back to the Anthony Wayne softball team. They have a pitcher committed to Notre Dame, and she defeated the Kings Knights with my good friend, my very, very good friend, Kevin Bernhardt, the first base coach for the Kings Knights, as they went down in that one 4-0. Kings, nothing to be ashamed of. A tremendous season for that group. Here's a changeup for a strike. Count quickly 0-2 on Gurwa. Top of the order, Eli Donawa will step in next. Unless there is a double play, which of course you and I, Rich, would love to see at this point. A little 6-4-3 action. Here comes the pitch, and that's lined short up, and that ball gets into right field. So Boyle laid out for that, and that's going to have to be scored a single, as Boyle laid out for it to catch it on the fly, and it bounced over his glove for a single for Gurwa.
Runners now at first and second.
It looked like Boyle was sort of caught in between on that ball. He did not know whether to field it on a bounce, to lay out for it on the dive. He chose the dive. and that ball bounced over his glove and into right field for a single. So, meeting out on the mound for the Cougars. Top of the order, runners at first and second, and one out. As we mentioned, Eli Donowa, his conference player of the year, that's the Northern Lakes League. And I would assume he put up pretty good numbers as the conference player of the year in the leadoff hole. He's got runners at first and second. The Edgewood defense will play first base up, and Carter Breedlove, everyone else, pretty much straight away. So Carroll takes his lead at second, Gurwa at first. A right-handed batting Donowa ready. Here comes the pitch. Fastball taken for a strike. So the count quickly 0-1. One thing about Vogel, he's been ahead on most of the counts today. So getting ahead, a good thing. He checks the runner at second and pours it plateward. Curveball taken low, count evens at 1-1. A brisk wind, about 12 miles an hour, again straight out to left field. Here comes the pitch, changeup taken low. Count moves to 2-1. Tommy Keck waits on deck. Vogel ready. Here comes the 2-1. Fastball taken for a strike. Nice pitch as the count goes to 2-2.
Seems to be working with a real close strike zone today.
Yep, he's been around the plate the whole time, and certainly a good sign for Edgewood. 2-2 pitch. There's a swing and a ground ball to second. Second, bobbled and flipped. The runner is out. A bobble by Boyle, but he is able to secure it. That goes 4-6 for out number 2. And a fielder's choice for Donowa. He's over at first base. Runners now at first and third. Catch by John Rivera in the first. So Breedlove will hold him on. So here comes the pitch. Changeup taken low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. We'll see if Ryan Donnelly chooses to put Eli Donowa in motion here. Here comes the pitch. There's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch taken at the knees for strike 2. So the Generals hesitant to pull the trigger on Vogel. Have found themselves in a lot of 2-strike counts. Runner on the move. And that'll do it. So for the Generals in the top half of the second inning, no runs on 2 hits. There were no Edgewood errors and 2 runners left on base. We're through 2 innings with the score remaining. Anthony Wayne 1 and Edgewood 0. We'll be back.
Bonnie Bryant says Sajak and Larkin needs to step out of the way.
We are back here at the Athletes in Action Complex. Edgewood comes to bat in the top of the third. Egebrecht at the plate. He fouls one straight back. Count quickly 0-1 on him. Robert Egebrecht comes into this game for Edgewood, hitting .359. He has 16 RBIs. There's a strike to Egebrecht. The count quickly 0-2. Edgewood still looking for their first hit in this one. There's a ground ball to third, fielded cleanly by Crandell. He throws across the diamond in time. And it goes 5-3 on the putout of Robert Egebrecht. So Carter Breedlove steps in for Edgewood, the first baseman today, right-handed batter. Breedlove only a sophomore. There's a line drive, base hit in the center field. And that ball was smoked.
Hit them where they ain't.
That was an absolute rocket off the bat of Carter Breedlove. So Edgewood has their first hit of this one. Carter Breedlove over at first with speed. And John Rivera, the 9-hole hitter, steps in. John, a move-in from Puerto Rico for the Cougars this year. A great addition to Edgewood High School. Tremendous young man. There's a fastball taken outside for a ball. So Breedlove with a pretty sound lead over at first base. Jurinovich ready, and the pitch popped up on the infield in foul territory, moving over towards the dugout, and making the play is Max Crandell for out number 2. So back to the top of the order for Edgewood. It'll be Hayden Simons stepping in. Simons, his first time, a strikeout looking, leading off this game. So Simons will look to put one in the gap, and if that happens, Breedlove will definitely score. There's a swing and a pop-up out of play over our heads here.
Lucky we have a roof over our head today.
Yep, well, I don't think we're going to get struck with a ball, which is certainly good news.
That's good news.
Normally we have Michael Martz over here to protect us, but he's covering today's game. There's a curve and a chopper foul, count quickly 0-2. Martz usually is around just to be the hands in front of us to save us, but fortunately we have the roof, but Michael is notorious for saving our lives a couple times this year. But a big shout out to Michael Martz. Michael, what's your publication you're covering for today? Butler County? The Butler County Sports Report. Michael covering this one today. So Michael, good work as always.
Little shout out to our softball coach, Wayne Henson. He says the live stream is going great.
So Wayne Henson, softball coach, watching this one. Runner on the move, throw down to second, not in time. And a stolen base for Carter Breedlove. So Breedlove steals second, and the count on Simons at 1-2 with 2 outs. A base hit now will score Breedlove from second. Breedlove will also be a member of that Midland program, along with J.J. Vogel this summer. That team will be coached by Edgewood head coach Austin Hatfield. Another member of that team, my good friend Travis Beck's son, Eli Beck, a very, very nice middle infielder from Madeira on that roster. Here's a pitch and a curveball, swing and a miss, and down on strikes is Hayden Simons. So for Edgewood in the top half of the third inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no Generals errors, and 1 runner left on base. We move to the bottom of the third. The score remains 1-0. The Anthony Wayne Generals on top. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Back at the ball yard, all set for the home half of the third inning. It'll be 3-4-5 for the Anthony Wayne Generals. It'll be Lucas Potkanowicz, Cole Biedenharn, and Max Crandell to face J.J. Vogel, who's pitched well up to this point. A couple of scores from around the area today. In Oxford, we have one final. The Ross Rams were defeated. The Monroe Hornets were defeated by the Baden Rams in a run roll game, 12-2 in that one. And currently a game in progress. The Ross Rams are trailing the Vandalia Butler Aviators. The score in that game currently 5-0, and that game is in the top of the second inning. So Vandalia jumps out in that one. So the count here, 2-1 on Potkanowicz. Fastball right down Broadway. Count evens at 2-2.
Big shout out to our friend KJ from Gratis, Ohio. That would be Kevin Johnson.
Well, shout out to KJ for sure. Nice to know he's tuned in. KJ, a recent retiree from Edgewood, a distinguished career in education.
And KJ, I hope you're doing well.
There's a hard catcher's interference at the plate, and moving on to first base will be Lucas Potkanowicz. So catcher's interference on Ty Cowman. That goes as an error. It'll be the second error of the game for Edgewood. So a runner at first on catcher's interference, as the bat of Potkanowicz went straight into the glove of Ty Cowman. Joe Downey, the amazing trainer of the Cougars, out to speak with Cowman. We always say, and we can't get away from this broadcast without saying it, one of the best in the business, Joe Downey, taking care of the Cougars. Yeah, great to hear that KJ's following along from Gratis. Very good friend, good man. So leadoff runner on for the Generals brings up Cole Biedenharn. He walked his first time up there. The pitch from Bogle, hard ground ball into left field, and that's a base hit. Generals, they're in business here in the bottom half of the third. potential bunt situation. I'm sure Edgewood is aware. But you may see one laid down here by Crandell. He reached on an error that scored the only run of this game. No RBI. Back in the first. So runners creep in, pick off play, and they got it! So a major miscue by the Generals. That goes 1-6 on the caught stealing, or the pickoff, should I say. And Edgewood now with 1 out and 1 runner on. There's a pop-up in foul territory. Edgewood making the play. Is Carter Breedlove for out number 2.
Number 1.
So what was a promising inning for the Generals now has turned into a 2 outs and 1 runner on base. Wow, what a big defensive play on that pickoff by the Cougars. Curveball for a strikeout. Count quickly 0-1 on Ben Nikars. Nikars popped out in foul territory to Carson Downey to end the first.
I've seen them pull that off before. I think they pulled that off at Monroe and picked the guy off.
Well, I do believe we also had a pickoff of a runner over in the game played at Anderson, where that runner just took off on the throwback from the catcher and got thrown out. And these outs, there's a hard ground ball to short, fielded by Simons. He goes to Boyle, and that'll do it. That goes 6-4 on that out over at second. But for the Generals in the bottom half of the third, no runs. They did have 1 hit. There was 1 Edgewood error and 1 runner left on base. And we are through 3 complete now with the score. Anthony Wayne 1, Edgewood 0. We'll be back to bring you the 4th inning. Hopefully Edgewood can get some runs. We'll be back for that in just a couple of minutes.
It's about time to see things happen here.
All right, we're back with you, folks. We are back and ready for some Edgewood runs. My man Rich Hazelwood here beside me says, let's bring it on, Cougars. And it'll be 2, 3, 4 for Edgewood. Carson Downey, Zach Boyle, and J.J. Vogel. Here's a curveball for a strike from Urinovich. Downey's first time pop out to shortstop. Another curveball for a strike. Urinovich, a junior, saw some of his stuff today online. He brings a fastball between 85 and 87 miles an hour. Tops out at 88, and obviously we've seen here today the curveball, a big part of his arsenal. Count 1-2 on Downey. Urinovich ready, here it comes. Change up low, count evens, 2-2. Urinovich pours it in, fastball inside, just misses getting hit by that pitch, and the count runs 4. curveball driven to center field, but routine right at Ben Nikars. He'll put it away for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th.
Gotta get that ball down.
So Zach Boyle steps in for the Cougars. We are going to need to move our camera for you between innings. We're getting a little too much of right field. We'll go down and fix that. And should hopefully be good for the rest of this one.
Have some fun, Zach.
Zach Boyle, a senior, certainly been a leader for the Cougars this year. Boyle, 398 coming into this one. He flew out to right his first time. And he takes a strike, count 1 and 2. Boyle asks for time. There's a swing and a pop-up into foul territory. It'll drift out of play. So Boyle still in there, 1 and 2. Of course, this Anthony Wayne Generals outfit, this roster contains an Ohio State commit in pitcher Owen Graff. And we have not seen him thus far. But the Generals coaching staff choosing to go with 1B today. And our camera has magically been fixed. Beautiful. So the wind moving around here and moving our camera a little bit. But it appears we're back on. Boyle, a 3 and 2 count. They hit the bag! And Boyle will round first. That baseball hit the foul side. So a single for Boyle, the second hit of the game for the Cougars. Vogel, a team-leading 34 RBIs, steps in. Today is Ben Nikars for out number 2. So stepping in for the Cougars is Roman Smith, junior outfielder, grounded out to second. So a very, very fast-moving game. We've been at it now for roughly 54 minutes. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. One thing I'll give Jackson Urinovich credit for, he is moving the baseball in, out, up, down. He's painting a lot of corners in the process. Throw over to first, back safely is Boyle. Defense for the Generals pretty much straight away. Count evens at 1 and 1. Three umpires for this one. First base, we've got one at second right now and one at the plate. They move around, of course. There's a curve flown over near the dugout, and that ball will fall harmlessly in front of the Generals' dugout. Count now 1 and 2 on Roman Smith. Being on deck, Nick Kelhofer. Urinovich peers into Smith, and the pitch. Off speed taken outside. Count moves to 2 and 2, and Roman Smith, of course, leading this Edgewood Cougar team with 3 home runs on the season, 26 RBIs. Fastball fouled over the pavilion here at the Athletes in Action Complex here in Xenia. Very nice facility. Got to give it to this place. Very nice host for a regional. All turf infield, all turf outfield. A brilliant place to play baseball. Curveball line up the center field, and that'll be a base hit. So Roman Smith with a hard single into center field on an off-speed pitch. That's going to bring up Nick Kelhofer. Boyle now advances to second. Roman Smith over at first. Senior Nick Kelhofer, first time in there today, a strikeout victim. And that at bat ended the second inning.
The terrain is a little more rolling than I expected.
It's a fast track, and there's a drop. That's hit to deep left, but curving foul, and that ball was over the wall in left. So Kelhofer, if he straightens that out a little, the Cougars are leading 3-1. A titanic. Rich, we needed you out there to somehow force those winds to bring it back into fair play, but
I've been called windy before.
that's what I'm accused of most of the time. So Kelhofer ready. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Curveball, swing and a miss. Count now 0-2. Of course, we mentioned earlier a lot of space behind home plate here. The catchers are certainly with 2 strikes are going to 60 feet at least back to the backstop. We've got 5 comments on my Facebook page. We'll see all, hopefully between inning we can give a shout out to some people.
My friend Dale Work is watching from Fairfield. He's a big baseball fan.
Fastball fouled straight back, and that one rattled our camera for sure. We do have a little bit of a better view, but that will definitely require a movement as we are connected directly to that netting behind home plate. So bear with us. We are certainly going to have to make an improvement to that after that foul ball. So here comes the pitch to Kelhofer. Another foul ball. So you'll have some audio here, a little bit of video to finish the inning. Kelhofer's had some very, very good swings. He's right on time so far on every pitch delivered by Urinovich. As he looks to put the Cougars on the board, here it comes. Fastball fouled straight back. So Kelhofer continues to battle. What a moment here for the Cougars as they look to dent the plate for the first time here in the top of the 4th. Boyle takes his lead at second. Urinovich pours it plateward, curve fouled straight back. And I'm telling you right now that Nick Kelhofer is on every single pitch.
Yep.
His approach is looking good. Hopefully he can finish off this quality at bat with an RBI. Urinovich gets the sign from Smith. He comes set and the pitch. Curveball, strike 3. And down on strikes is Nick Kelhofer. So for Edgewood in the top half of the 4th inning, no runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base, and we move to the bottom half of the 4th here in Xenia with the score. Anthony Wayne 1 and the Edgewood Cougars 0. We are back at the ballpark, and I apologize, I was doing camera duty as the Anthony Wayne Generals, leading off the bottom half of the fourth inning, get a leadoff single from Jet Smith. They've got a runner on with nobody out. And that'll bring to the plate Crew Carroll, designated hitter. He singled his first time. So 1 on, no outs, bottom half of the fourth inning. J.J. Vogel ready, stares down the runner and steps off. So we hopefully have a good view for you again. Normally we connect to the backstop, but the netting makes that a little difficult. Pickoff throw over to first, back safely is Smith. Tell you, this Anthony Wayne group is, you can tell, they're a talented baseball team. Cougars hanging right with them. There's a bunt and a good one. So that'll go to first, and not in time, and the ball gets into right field. So a runner will stop at third, and the Edgewood bunt defense fails them. And they have called interference. That should move the runner to second. So they have called interference on the runner from home. And that should force the runner that was on base all the way back to first. And that is an odd scoring play, but that must be what it is. So the Cougars, the beneficiary of that situation. So a runner now at first, that being Jet Smith, 1 out on runner's interference. And Mason Gurla steps in. He singled his first time. He's the 9-hole hitter, so they'll flip the order. After this hitter, here's a fastball, taking strike 1. We will try to get the pitch count for you on J.J. Vogel. Vogel with the sign and the pitch, taking strike 2. As Vogel just paints, it amazes me how many pitches that the Generals have taken today. I mean, they are getting fooled by J.J. Vogel's stuff, no question about it. Curveball swing and miss, and down on strikes is Gurley.
Something's wrong. It's way more pitches than what he's throwing.
So Vogel now with 2 outs, runner at first, comes set. Here comes the pitch, top of the order. That ball gets away from Kalman. A wild pitch will move the runner, that being Jet Smith, up to second base on the wild pitch. And a runner now at second with 2 outs for Eli Donawa. Donawa 0 for 2 in this one, ground out to second. And then he grounded into a fielder's choice in the second. Now comes up in the fourth, and we've got a pinch runner. So coming in to pinch run for the Generals is number 22, and the roster we have does not have a number 22. So a non-updated roster, we cannot tell you who that is out there. But the one I'm looking at online has no number 22. Caden Rouser, we've been told, is the pinch runner. Caden Rouser. Yeah, this has J.J. Vogel as 142 pitches on Game Changer. So I believe that's off.
That's a little bit off.
A little bit off. J.J. would be have his arm in ice for the next month. So the count quickly 1-1 on Donawa. Runner out at second is Jet Smith, 2 outs. Bottom half of the fourth, 1-0, Generals lead. Fastball all the way to the screen. And now a runner is 90 feet away, another wild pitch. A runner now at third base. Count 2-1. Donawa to be followed by Tommy Keck if the inning continues for the Generals. The 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. Here it comes. Swinging a miss. And J.J. Vogel is just dealing out there. I mean, they really haven't squared him up much in this game, and I don't want to jinx him here, but J.J. Vogel's on his game, folks. Here comes the pitch, and that's taken outside, and it's appeal at first. Umpire says no swing, and the count goes full. Very close on the swing, but the umpire over at first base rules no swing. Donawa waves the bat around, right-handed batter, black and orange on the bat. Here comes the pitch. Changeup gets away from Kalman, and that'll be a run. So a pass ball by Ty Kalman allows the second run of the game. And I believe pass balls are also considered errors.
I believe so. I would think so.
Michael Martz, our expert on baseball here, is shaking his head. So we're hoping he's right.
Is that what that rattling noise was?
Well, all I know is if that ball's caught, they don't score. But I don't always understand the decisions in scoring when it comes to baseball. But if that ball's dropped in the outfield and the run scores, it's an error. Pitch is taken for a ball.
I still disagree with it.
Well, I'm with you, Rich, but my man Michael Martz rarely misses on those. There's a high fly ball to center field. Moving in a couple steps to make the play is Nick Kelhofer for out number 3 in the inning. So a nice play out in center by Kelhofer ends the inning. And for the Anthony Wayne Generals, they get 1 run. They got 1 hit. There were no Edgewood errors. And runners left on base was 1. And through 4 innings complete here in Xenia, the score now, the Anthony Wayne Generals 2, the Edgewood Cougars 0. Here we go. The Cougars come to bat. It'll be Robert Egebrecht here in the 5th to be followed by Carter Breedlove and John Rivera due up. Pitch is taken outside for a ball. Egebrecht his first time. Grounded 5-3. Third baseman to first base. Here comes the pitch. Fastball outside corner. Count evens at 1-1. Urinovich still out there. Thus far, he's 4 innings, no runs, no earned runs, obviously. Check swing, fly into short right. Going out is the second baseman. So the second baseman drops the ball, and Egebrecht is on via an error on the second baseman. Mason Gerwa. Mason Gerwa fails to secure that baseball. So Mason Gerwa, and that'll bring to the plate Breedlove, who singled sharply his first time up there, also stole a base. That may haunt, hopefully, that error. Here comes the pitch. Slider taken outside for a ball. So the Edgewood Cougars, we've got action out in the bullpen for the Anthony Wayne Generals. Number 8 is out there throwing. There's a drive, and that's it again. That ball's headed to the wall. Here comes, that's all the way to the wall. Robbie third, coming in to score is Egebrecht on the triple by Carter Breedlove. So Carter Breedlove triples to the wall in right center field, and the Edgewood Cougars cut the deficit in half and have the tying run 90 feet away as John Rivera steps to the plate. No outs, runner at third, and a 2-1 ball game. Beautiful.
Brian, here's your bullpen, number 8, Carter Johnson.
So Carter Johnson warming in the pen out there in short right field. The infield comes in for the Anthony Wayne Generals as John Rivera looks to knot this one up here in the 5th. Fastball for a strike. Up in the zone, but called a strike. Man. So Rivera looking to put a ball in play here, infield in. Here's the pitch. Slider taken away, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Come on, John.
What a day for Breedlove thus far. Curveball and strike. Swinging. Top of the order on deck. That'll be Hayden Simons. Rivera, his first time, hit a pop up to the third baseman in foul territory. That was squeezed for an out. What a ball game. The pitch, swing and a miss, bounces at the plate, gets away from the catcher. Throw to first, throw back to the plate.
Let's go, Edgewood!
So Edgewood ties the game on the drop third strike, and Carter Breedlove on the throw advances home, and we are now tied at 2-2. Top of the order, Hayden Simons chops it to second. Throw down to first is in time for out number 2. So that goes 4-3, and that's going to bring up Carson Downey, 2-hole hitter for Edgewood. Rich, great to see the Cougars answer here in the 5th.
I think they know we're here.
Well, they do, and they're just not going to quit. You reach a point where you just realize these kids are not going to quit on a game. They're not. And it's as simple as that, and it's fun to watch. There's a curve and a ground ball to the mound. Bobble, pick back up, throw to first in time. That goes 1-3 to end the inning. So for the Edgewood Cougars, they knocked things up here in the top of the fifth. 2 runs on a total of 1 hit. There was 1 error for the Generals, and the Cougars left nobody on base. And through 4.5 innings, it's stretch time here in Xenia with the score. The Edgewood Cougars 2, the Anthony Wayne Generals 2. We'll be back to bring you the bottom of the fifth in just a minute.
Happy birthday!
We're coming back a little early, folks. We've got wholesale substitutions for the Edgewood Cougars here in the bottom half of the fifth. A new pitcher on the mound, it's Carson Downey. J.J. Vogel moves from pitcher over to first base. The center fielder, Nick Kelhofer, moves from center to behind the plate. New center fielder is Jace Gully. Carter Breedlove has moved to left field from first base, and Brady Bauman now is at third. And if you kept track of all of that, you win a meal at Skyline later tonight.
We wrote that down, or we wouldn't.
So all set here. We do, before we get started, we want to send out happy birthday wishes, 18th birthday to Edgewood Cougars player Russell Warren. So Russell Warren, 18th birthday today. Shout out to him down there in the Cougars dugout. A tremendous young man. Let's make this 18th birthday a winner for Russell Warren. So the Anthony Wayne Generals, they're at 3, 4, 5 in the order. It'll be Lucas Potkanowicz to lead it off. He walked and scored in the first and reached base on catcher's interference in the third. What a great baseball game we won. His pitch, his out pitch, undeniably, watching it all year, is that curveball. If he gets ahead of you with that thing, it's lights out. You're going to get it, and it's not easy to hit. Let me give you Downey's strikeout numbers because it is crazy. Carson Downey on the season for Edgewood. Got a little timeout at the plate. I'm not sure what's going on. Looks like some catcher's equipment. But we will tell you that Carson Downey has pitched 40 innings exactly this season. And are you ready for this? 65 strikeouts. So Downey, 40 innings, 65 strikeouts. Here comes the pitch. Curveball right down the middle for the strike. And the count evens at 1-1. And those batters for Anthony Wayne better get used to it. They're going to see that pitch early, and they're going to see it often. Curveball bounced foul at third base. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And I tell you, we've been behind the plate a few times this year. And that pitch goes, you've heard the term 12-6. that is a 12-6 curveball. That thing is straight down. Here comes the pitch, fastball, fouled straight back. So count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Potkanowicz, the shortstop, he scored in this game. There's a curve driven to center. Going back on it and having plenty of room is Jay Scully for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. So Cole Biedenharn will step in. He's 1 for 1. Walk, his first time, advanced to third in the first. And a single was forced out on a fielder's choice in the third. Right-handed batter ready. Fastball right down the middle. 4 strike 1. Curveball driven to right field, moving over, and then with room. Here's Roman Smith for out number 2.
I would like to know what JJ's actual pitch is. I know
It's got to be up there. He threw a lot of pitches. My guess is, if I had to guess, Rich, somewhere in the 90s, 80s to 90s would be my
He threw a
guess.
lot of pitches.
Curveball taken high. So quickly, 2 outs. Max Crandell steps in. Crandell reached on an error and fouled out over to first base to Carter Breedlove. The 1-0 taken low, ball 2. The Edgewood Cougars and the Anthony Wayne Generals locked in a good one here in Xenia. And we're here for it. Fastball taken high. Count moves to 3-0.
Floating strike zone they got.
So 3-0 on Crandell. He'll be followed by Ben Niekars if he's able to reach base. The 3-0 taken high, ball 4. And a base on balls for Crandell. Ben Niekars steps in. Uniform number 1 so far for him. He's fouled out to third and reached on a fielder's choice to end the inning. So 0 for 2.
Go Corson!
A pretty good crowd out here watching this one. There's a fastball grounded to short. Up with it is Simons. He throws to Boyle for out number 3. So for the Anthony Wayne Generals in the bottom half of the 5th inning, no runs on no hits, no Edgewood errors, 1 runner left on base. And we are through 5 innings with the score. The Edgewood Cougars 2 and the Anthony Wayne Generals 2. Back here, we've got a pitching change for the Generals. They will turn to right-hander Carter Johnson. Right-hander Carter Johnson will deal to Zach Boyle, J.J. Vogel, and Roman Smith. There's a fastball taken high for ball one.
Good time for a pocket full of sunshine here.
Yep, Sunshine Boyle would like nothing better than to lock into one here. There's So Boyle calling for time. He does get it. From home plate umpire Anthony Sheets. Boyle. Pitch is taken low. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. And I'm going to be honest with you, Rich. I think the Cougars can get to this guy.
He hasn't shown me much yet.
There's a fastball taken right down the middle. I have this young man at around 80 miles per hour. So Edgewood hopefully can take advantage and score here. Curveball grounded to third. Up with it cleanly is Max Crandell. He throws to first in time to get Boyle. That goes 5-3 for out number 1.
Go, good.
Just got a message from Linda Porter, Edgewood High School staff member. She's watching today. Gave us a nice job on the commentary for me and you, Rich. So Linda, thank you. We hope you're enjoying this game.
Thank you very much.
Also, a shout out to Nick Sandlin.
We have a nice local crowd here too.
A lot of Cougar fans in attendance, but Nick Sandlin just sent us a message. Nick, an Edgewood grad, watching this game from Florida today for the Cougars. There's a hard line drive foul in the right field. So shout out to Nick.
We had a report that Billy Back would be watching in from Arizona. He's part of an indoor arena football program.
There is strike 3 to J.J. Vogel. And quickly 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning for Edgewood. So that brings to the plate Roman Smith. He is 1 for 2. Ground out to second and a single in this game. Curveball taken for a strike. One thing about this young man, it does appear he's keeping the Cougars off balance. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss. So Roman quickly behind 0-2. And the 0-2 delivery, swinging a pop up in the short center, going out and cutting out. That ball bounces between everybody in short center field. Base hit for Roman Smith, his second of the game. That's going to bring to the plate Nick Kellhofer. So a flare into short center field by Roman Smith falls in no man's land. And the Cougars now with a runner at first and 2 outs. And the dangerous Nick Kellhofer stepping in, now the catcher for the Cougars. Here's the pitch, taken for a strike.
Some things I'd like to have right now, Coach. Some more runs and a big, tall Wits ice cream.
The Wits ice cream, I don't think they're going to be delivering up here. That might have to be in the postgame, Rich. There's a swing and a foul.
Sure, make it exciting.
Carter Johnson ready with the 0-2. Roman Smith with the lead, and he's off. The pitch taken outside for a ball and no throw as Roman Smith just steals second base. So a stolen base for Roman. And I have no idea why that throw there's not even a throw made there. Either way, Roman Smith at second with a stolen base. He's now in scoring position. The Edgewood Cougars. Nicka Sr., his knee cars. And that'll do it for the Cougars here in the sixth. So for Edgewood, no runs on one hit. There were no errors for the Generals and the Anthony Wayne Generals too. We'll be back.
I seen them 3 guys run for that ball.
Folks, we're going to come back a little early to give shout outs to everyone watching this live stream. And we've got a bunch of them. Bear with us. Shout outs to the following people, and we do appreciate your tuning in today. Bonnie Bryant, a longtime Edgewood staff member. Kim Conley, we see you, Kim. Janet Johnson, the wife of Kevin, also tuning in from Gratis. Tom Codell, and I hope Tom, I don't know if it's Codell or Cadell or whatever you say on that. I apologize if I said it wrong. That's the uncle of Roman Smith. He's tuned in. Michael McSorley, one of the best Edgewood wrestlers in history. Corey Smith, out here right now. We got Joe Fryer, a former Edgewood Cougar player. Becky Sorrell. So Becky, watching this game. Shout out to Becky. Rose Harvey with us. Barb Volley. And finally, Talia Alexander. And she's watching from the ball field of her son's game. Pretty cool stuff. So thanks to everyone for tuning in and letting us know you're watching. And we are just about set for the bottom of the sixth. It'll be 7, 8, 9 for the Generals to face Carson Downey here in the bottom half of the sixth. Edgewood defense pretty much straight away, except for third baseman Brady Bauman pulled in from third. Jet Smith in this one, 1 for 2. He scored a run. Fastball taken high, ball 1. Jet Smith, Crew Carroll, and Mason Gerwa. There's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. We hope you're enjoying this one as much as we are. This would be a monumental win. The Edgewood Cougars, a perfect blend of youth and experience. There's a ground ball towards second. Boyle fields it. Throw to first is in time for out number 1. So that goes Zach Boyle to J.J. Vogel over at first for out number 1. That brings to the plate Crew Carroll, designated hitter. He's 1 for 1. He had a runner's interference. Also, he singled in this game. There is a curveball taken high for a ball. So the right-handed hitting Carroll to be followed by Gerwa. And by Carson Downey. Fastball, strike the whole game. 2 balls and 2 strike. I guess it must have been up. So we'll see if there's a change in the pitch choice. Here comes the 2-2 from Downey. Fastball, strike 3. Caught him looking. Quickly 2 outs. It'll be Mason Gerwa to the plate.
This is nothing short of amazing.
So the Anthony Wayne Generals, no action in their bullpen. There's a curveball, just misses on the outside corner. Gerwa in this one singled and struck out, 1 for 2. There's a fastball on the inside corner for a strike. And a curveball right down the middle. When the Edgewood Cougars come to bat, it'll be 7-8-9. And that's either a ball or timeout. I'm not sure.
Call time.
Timeout called at the plate. So the count. You square that pitch up, you're a big time hitter. Throw to first. And that'll do it. So the Anthony Wayne Generals go in order. No runs, no hits, no runners left on base, and no errors for the Edgewood Cougars. We're through 6 complete with the score. The Edgewood Cougars 2, the Anthony Wayne Generals 2. We'll be back to bring you the 7th in just a couple of minutes.
What a ball game.
All right, folks, we're all set. We head to the 7th inning. The Edgewood Cougars will send up 7-8-9. That means Robert Egebrecht, Carter Breedlove, and due up John Rivera for the Cougars. Here comes the pitch. There's a drive into center. Moving back a few steps and making the play is Ben Nikars for out number 1. Rich, that brings to the plate Carter Breedlove, and he stepped up big for the Cougars.
Yes,
Would
he
you like
has.
to see another one here?
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Curveball, swing and a miss. To Breedlove. Again, he's 2 for 2 in this one. A single with a triple that scored a run. He later scored on the drop third strike. There's a curve fouled off.
I say again, bring it on.
You say bring it on, Rich, and I'm right there with you for
Bring it
that.
on.
No balls and 2 strikes on Breedlove. The Anthony Wayne Generals, they'll bring the top of the order to the plate in the bottom of the 7th. First things first, though, Carter Breedlove with the 0-2. Fouled over to right field.
Out of play.
out of play. Me and the VOC going to be grabbing dinner tonight on the way home somewhere. We'll let Rich pick that one, as we're not going to get out of here until well after 7 p.m. I
The
would
way
guess.
we come, it may be somebody's kitchen.
Could be.
We didn't come
Fastball swing and a miss, and down on strikes is Breedlove for out number 2, and that's going to bring to the plate a pinch hitter for Edgewood. Or actually, that'll be the player that is Brady Bauman. Brady Bauman stepping in for the Cougars. Pitch. Strike 1 to Bauman. This is his first plate appearance for the Cougars. Curveball, strike 2. Quickly 0-2 on Brady Bauman.
If he can get on, he gives you a lot of speed on the base base.
Yep, we'd love to get him there. Bauman currently a third baseman for the Cougars. And the pitch, swing and a miss. And down on strikes is Brady Bauman to end the Cougars' 7th. For Edgewood in the top half of the 7th, they go in order. No runs, no hits, no general errors. Nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. The score remains Edgewood 2 and Anthony Wayne 2. We're back with you. We're ready for the bottom of the 7th, the 2-2 tie. It'll be the top of the order. Eli Donowa, Tommy Keck, and Lucas Potkanowicz coming to bat. So far, the Edgewood Cougars have out-hit Anthony Wayne 5-4 in this game. One error for each team. So Donowa steps in. He's 0 for 2. He did reach via the walk back in the 4th inning. Here comes the pitch. Curveball, strike 1. So Downey quickly ahead, 0-1. Here comes the pitch. Curveball grounded up the middle and a diving stop. And no play at first. An infield single for Eli Donowa to lead off the 7th.
He saved the base right there.
That was a brilliant effort by Zach Boyle, but Donowa, extremely good speed to beat it out over at first. What you would expect from a leadoff hitter.
6-4-3 coming up.
Tommy Keck steps in. Golden opportunity here, potentially for a bunt. We'll see what the plan is from head coach Ryan Donnelly. Edgewood third baseman Brady Bauman in at third. Pickoff throw gets away. and going to second, and he's going to come to third, and he's going to make it. And the runner at third, now with nobody out. So that goes as an error on pitcher Carson Downey. I'm not sure if JJ was able to get a glove on that or not. We'll take a look at how that's scored later, but I've got that as an error, and the Edgewood Cougars now are in a bind. So runner at third base, 2, 3, 4 coming up, and the infield will be drawn in. That one hurt. Gonna count these Cougars out though. You just can't do it. I believe until the final out or the final hit is made in this year's team. They always find a way. So the Edgewood infield in, I would assume the outfield will do the same. You've got to be at a depth where you can throw out a runner at the plate on a fly ball. I would assume with this first batter, it will be the runner at third seeing the ball through. I don't think he'll be moving on contact with nobody out. Here comes the pitch, taken for a strike. Count quickly 0-1 on the left-handed hitting Keck, who is 0 for 3. Here comes the pitch. Curveball right down ball. Strike 2. So a quickly an 0-2 count. The Edgewood middle infielders, Simons and Boyle backing up every throw from the catcher. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball grounded to the pitcher. The runner will hold and out at first base. So that brings to the plate Potkanowicz, the 3-hole hitter. He is 0 for 2. They will walk in intentionally. Now a double play in order, but I think the infield will still be in. They were just trying to avoid that bat, so they must have had a scouting report on that young man. Potkanowicz. That brings up Cole Biedenharn. He is 1 for 2 in this one. And the Cougars are deciding what to do here as head coach Austin Hatfield heads to the mound for a meeting. Biedenharn 1 for 2. The on-deck batter, Max Crandell. Hope I'm saying that right. It might be Crandall. But Crandell we have as being 0 for 2 in this one. He also walked. So Cougars making sure everything is organized and planned for what they're going to do on any baseball in play. They are going to have to deal with that curveball, and I can tell you right now that is a strikeout pitch, and oh, do the Cougars need that now. But, as emphasized earlier, you got to be a wall behind the plate right now. A wild pitch or a pass ball is the ball game. Downey ready. Here comes the pitch. Curveball right down the middle for a strike. Defensive indifference allows the runner to go to second, no throw. So that runner, Potkanowicz, defensive indifference, no stolen base. And the count 0-1, and here comes the pitch. Curveball driven, and that's probably the ball game. Catch made in center, tag at third, and this ball game is over. Appeal play at third, unsuccessful, and the Amphenol Wayne Generals have defeated the Edgewood Cougars by a final score of 3-2. Tough one for Edgewood. We'll be back to tell you all about it in just a couple of minutes. We're back at the ballparks, folks. You've watched this one. Unfortunately, we have to report the Edgewood Cougars dropped this game by a final score of 3-2 here at the Athletes in Action Complex in Xenia. Going over quickly the statistics from this game. We will begin first with the Edgewood Cougars with the loss. The Cougars finished their season with a final record of 20 wins, tied for most wins in program history. They had a league title and just dropped their first game in the last 14 in this one. You had to, if you were around this club all season, you realize a special group of young men that unfortunately have to get on that bus as the losing team today, but they are far from losers on the season that they had. A tremendous season for the Cougars. For Edgewood in this game, they had 2 runs on 5 hits. They committed 3 errors, and there were 4 runners left on base. The losing pitcher, Carson Downey, he falls to 4-3 on the season. The Edgewood Cougars hitting leader in this one, without a doubt, Carter Breedlove. He was 2 for 2. He also had an RBI and stole a base for the Cougars. Also with 2 hits, Roman Smith. He also stole a base. So a nice finish to the season at the plate for Roman. But again, not enough as the Cougars fall 3-2 to Anthony Wayne. For Anthony Wayne, coached by Ryan Donnelly, they finished this game with 3 runs on 5 hits. They committed 1 error and left 7 on base. The winning pitcher in this one was Carter Johnson. I'm not unsure of his record, but Carter, the winning pitcher in this game, they're hitting leaders. Obviously, the game-winning RBI goes to Cole Biedenharn at first baseman as he hit a sacrifice fly to walk off this game. He also had a hit earlier. And beyond that, there was really no players with more than 1 hit in the lineup for Anthony Wayne. So that'll do it. I do want to, before we get off the air here, give a shout out to my right-hand man here in the booth, Rich Hazelwood, who's been by my side for all of these games. Rich, you are a great addition to this broadcast team.
Thank you, Brian.
And I want to thank you for all of your hard work, strictly volunteer. For both of us, you put in a lot of time in helping me, and I certainly hope that we can do this again.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, and we saw a lot of awful good baseball. All you can say of this one, basically, is Anthony Wayne had the last bat.
Very good point, Rich, and I agree wholeheartedly. A wonderful.
That's why you like to be a home team.
Yep, a definite great finish. Well, there you have it, folks. Again, the final score in a game that took 1 hour and 56 minutes to complete. The final score, the Anthony Wayne Generals 3 and the Edgewood Cougars 2. This is Brian Caudill, the middle-aged left-hander, rounding third and heading for Skyline. That's a wrap on this season. Good night, everyone.
Good night.